Did someone mention my name? A young woman stepped out from behind a japanned privacy screen. She was a bold, voluptuous beauty with just the right touch of pout to her lower lip to make men dance in constant attendance. Since the beginning of this year's season, Tess and Leia had been cast in the roles of competitors, at first more for the contrast in their looks than any real disharmony between them. Tess was a proud redhead who stood equal in height to most men. Poems had been written comparing her eyes to the light sparkling off the blue waters of the Mediterranean or the stained glass in Salisbury Cathedral. Petite Leia's exotic dark eyes and coal-black hair seemed to have the power to mesmerize men. Even the Prince of Wales had succumbed to her charm. In between these two rivals stood Anne, with her soft, curling brown hair, heart-shaped face, and trusting eyes. Tess didn't understand why everyone didn't see what a noble, wonderful person Anne was. Anne preferred staying in the background and easily forgave slights from others. Why, she was so kind, she'd even forgiven that odious gossip, Deland Godwin. Years ago, when she was first presented to society, he'd branded her a toad-eater, the term used to describe a woman without any means of support other than reliance upon the whims and goodwill of her relatives. Well, she'd not be ill-treated this time. She had Tess to champion her. Leia made her way to a washstand to wash her hands. Her gaze met Tess's in the large mirror hanging on the wall. "Did you wish something, Miss Hamlin?" "It's nothing," Anne started, but Tess cut her off. "You know what you've done. The question is, do you dare own up to it in front of the others?" Leia accepted a linen towel from the maid as she drawled lazily, "I haven't any idea what you're talking about." She moved away from the mirror toward the door. "Now, if you will excuse me, I'm promised for the next dance." Tess stepped right in her path. "Mr. Hardeston." All her anger could be summed up in that one name. Leia stopped. Her lips curved into a smile. "Archie?" Tess almost growled with anger. "You know he was Anne's." "I know no such thing. Had he made an offer?" Leia looked to Anne, whose face had gone pale. Her expression gave Tess a stab of guilt, but she forged ahead, speaking for Anne. "He was going to." "But he hadn't, had he?" Leia said. "His mother had talked to Anne's aunt." "But he had yet to speak his thoughts," Leia reiterated, raising her voice so that all in the room could be privy to what was being said. "Had he?" she asked Anne directly. Anne shifted, and Tess knew she wished she were in 100 different places than right here, right now. But Anne had to learn to defend herself. "Tell her, Anne." "Please, Tess, let's leave before it's made worse." "No, for once, I'm not worried about making a scene. You are my friend, and I'm not going to let this little jade get away with disgraceful behaviour." She turned to Leia. "He was about to, until you set your cap for him, something you did for no other reason than to strike out at me by hurting her." "That's absurd," Leia countered. "Is it?" Tess demanded. "Mr. Hardeston has no grand fortune or connections. He's not what your grasping mother would consider an eligible party." Anger flashed in Leia's eyes, but she didn't correct Tess's assessment of her mother. Instead, she said, "She's very dear. Character is worth more than money." Tess doubted a Carrollton would recognize a decent, honourable character if it sat down to dinner with them, but she didn't put that sentiment into words. Instead, she called Leia's bluff. "So, we can all expect an announcement of your betrothal?" "Of course not," Leia said quickly. "Mr. Hardeston and I didn't suit." Tess said doubtfully. She lowered her voice. "I think your attraction to Mr. Hardeston had a great deal to do with the Marquis of Redgrave offering for me 2 weeks ago. You and your mother had found a fine pigeon to pluck, and then his attention turned..."